Welcome back at WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and WNST.net. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia. All of our WNST coverage brought to you by LifeBridge Health Sports Medicine Institute. Just like it says. Luke, remind me to bring to stand the man Stasiak left arm heart punch thing that I need here that's keeping my elbow together. Thank God for Dr. Craig Bennett. Find that out in the buyatoyota.com audio vault. We have many people that come by here that like try to pimp themselves on. Luke had the brother love, Bruce Pritchett. Yeah, he's going to be here at some point before the week's over. We had Diamond Dallas Page on. There's a whole list of various people here. This is a little bit of the barbecue sauce that I got on Joe Andruzzi and Baldinger. I'll call him later. Jackie Slater. So these are the guests that that we get on the show, and people come by. And then this dude comes by from the BBC. And first off, Steve Crossman is here. You can find him at BBC, as well as at Steve_Crossman. That's CROSSMAN. And the thing he's promoting are the hurricane tapes. I'm going to hold that up there. But the thing that won me over with you was your accent.
Oh, no surprise there.
Yeah, I mean, when the Brits come over, I love your country. I love your people. Any place that could provide Led Zeppelin for me, all right? I mean, right? I mean, Pink Floyd for him.
Yeah.
Right?
I'm just freaking out because Diamond Dallas Page was sitting in this chair.
He was sitting in that chair.
Can I have this chair?
Well,
come on, give me the chair.
I mean, come on.
Give me the chair.
You live in Manchester, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so, when I think of Manchester, think of soccer, football, as you call it. That's over there. Fine. This is the other football. And this is my 26th Super Bowl. And I'm not going to lie to you. So 26 years ago, I had a British girlfriend, which makes me cool. In 1998, and the last game that Barry Sanders ever played in the NFL, I left that game. I went to Dulles. I flew to London. I spent 5 days in London, and there was not one person, place, thing, hat, logo, anything. And I saw Beckham play for Man U at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge that week, so it gives you a little bit of the perspective. He's 99. It was the end of the 90s. It was New Year's Day 99. I saw New Order play at some great castle. I actually found the bootleg of that on YouTube.
I feel like you're selling yourself to me now.
No.
I thought I was pimping.
There was no football there at all.
Right.
And now, 20 years later, I have been over there and been on subway cars on the tube, literally just leaving London to go out to Wembley, and I found every single jersey. I made it a goal. Luke will tell you. I said, when I leave today at 8 o'clock in the morning for the game or whatever time of the day it was, we got on the tube. I said, every fan I see, I'm going to ask them if I can take a picture and see if they're European. And see, and they were, but they were Swedish, they were German, they were Belgian, they were from everywhere.
Right.
But I have Chiefs fans, Falcons fans. I took selfies, and I got to all 32 teams before I transferred cars. I mean, I didn't even have to get to Wembley. I'm blown away by what this sport has done in your country, where the BBC would fly a man like you halfway around the world. And you were, I don't know, poop-talking, manure-talking right before we went on the air. And he said, we're going to have our own team soon. You know that.
We are. Right.
So now you're going to have your own team in American football. There was nobody in London that knew. When I said football, they thought the thing you kick. It was like that was 20 years ago. I'm blown away that a guy of your age and it was a mix of everything, would fall in love with American football.
All right, well, one, remarkable that you managed to speak to anybody on the tube, because usually what we like to do on the tube is just eyes down. We don't like to talk to anybody. We don't like to look at anybody. If you talk to us, we think you're looking for money.
So this is why Luke is getting even with you by not participating in the conversation and eating popcorn over here, right? Because he wants to be...
You want to be a Londoner?
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly.
Okay, well, I mean, we'll take you. I mean, I don't live in London. I should say that, But look, I think you're right. I mean, the way I got into American football was probably the same way that millions of people around the world did, which is through Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, right? Ace Ventura: Pet Detective is the only way to get into American football, and unfortunately,
that's not comedy. You're seriously?
I'm serious.
That's the first time you heard of America? Okay,
probably, yeah.
Hold on, Luke is done eating his popcorn.
You probably have not seen that movie.
Do not go in there.
Okay.
Is
that good? Yeah.
It wasn't bad.
I'm not a Jim Carrey fan, but he is, and he loves Dumb and Dumber. That's why he does the show with me.
And speaking of, Dumb and Dumber, the Miami Dolphins were the team that was in the movie. And so that's my first example of American football. So I was like, sure, I'll follow this sport. The Miami Dolphins sound interesting. And then it turns out that they actually suck. So that was a shame.
All right, look, we got a surprise here for you. Just bring the chair around here, man. I got to just throw. That's just my crap. Just throw it on the floor, man. It's fine. So this guy's from the BC in London. So
What's
I'm putting
up?
him on, and he's going to tell his story about the hurricane taste. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Justin Forsett joining us here. You never know what's going to happen here. Sit on in, man.
Yeah,
This is the camera here. You want to say hello? Yeah, we're good, man. Relax, man. This guy ran the football for us. So I was talking to him about being in London 20 years ago, and nobody knew anything about American football, and now the BBC sends this guy over here.
Nice.
He began the programming by saying that we're getting our own team in London soon, and I'm thinking, which team are you stealing? Better not be mine. You know what I mean?
It's probably Jacksonville.
But
right, exactly, 100%.
He was a Jaguar.
Yes, I was.
Man,
Oh,
you're on board with it. You've been to a game over there? Did you play over
I
there?
played over there.
Yeah.
It didn't end well for us, like most games back when I was playing with them. But no, it was a cool city, man. I loved it over there. I had a good time. Brought my wife and my son.
How many years ago was that?
That was 2000. That was right before I came to Baltimore. So 2013.
Early. I mean,
Yeah, one of the first.
When was the first games over there that mattered? 9, 10, like that?
I think 10.
I was just,
Yeah,
it hadn't even been
11.
10 years.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
And what it's done for growth for the people of, I mean, you saw it. I mean, if you were there, I didn't believe it until I went and saw
You know,
it.
the thing is, it's not just that they could sell out Wembley Stadium, which they did. It's when they started having more games there. So when they went to 3 in a calendar year and they did it on 2 consecutive weekends, if you can sell out on consecutive weekends, you can have a franchise, I think. Whether that's taking a team like the Jags, because the reason the Jags come up, I mean, there's lots of reasons, but mainly it's because Shad Khan, the owner, is
Yes.
also the owner of a Premier League
Sure.
team in England, right?
And you as a player there, you understood, every person I talked to in Jacksonville understood where their revenue comes from, the importance of that game, what it means for, I mean, I think the players even understood that when they put you on a plane and take you over there, you at least have some basic understanding of why you're getting on a plane and going over there, right?
Yeah. We're trying to expand the brand and introduce the football, what we know as football, to the people of the UK.
He's got a brand himself, too, man. He's keeping me clean.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, keeping you fresh with Shower Pill, man. Always, Ness.
Shower Pill. Tell me about Shower Pill, man. I love when he tells the story
So
about
Shower Pill is a company I started with a couple of teammates. It's a disposable washcloth. It's an antibacterial towelette to be able to remove sweat, dirt, and body odor after any interval of sweat, whether you leaving the gym, camping, hiking, PE first period, you name it. You know, we keep you fresh.
Nice.
So this is how you seem. Oh, that's so cool. This is how you do it seamlessly.
He just whips it out, man.
I was just walking around.
Great.
I was just walking around with my flyer like this, but this guy's like just chatting and then whoop,
Well,
there it
just
is.
flip it out, you know.
I just happen to have one on me.
It's
Build the
smooth, man.
suspense.
It
and
was
then
great.
you
So I'm gonna do some more BBC with you, but I want to get Justin in because he's a little late getting here, moving around, and you got a million places to be. What do you got for him, Luke? Because I know you want to get after my man.
Man, you're putting me on the spot here. Well,
He was eating
first of
popcorn
all,
a minute ago and being rude to the Londoner, and now like he's in the conversation. All of a
typical
sudden,
Luke.
right? Typical Luke.
Justin, now that you've spent some time on our side as a sideline reporter, analyst, how do you like that? What's that experience been like for you?
It's been great, man, just to be able to hang out and learn the craft, you know, with guys like Jerry, and be around the guys still, you know, transition out of football. You know, I really don't – it's hard for me to watch football on Sundays just because I'm away from it, you know, when I'm not, you know, working the games. I'm running a company, you know, so it gives me a chance to get back to hang out with some of the guys. A lot of the guys that are playing was there when I was playing with the Ravens. So it's pretty cool to be back around and see, you know, some great football. I mean, Kansas City game, I want to say that was probably my last away game. That was a pretty cool game to be at. When the Chargers
Well, I
game
see
too.
you down there, man. You're hustling and working and seeing the other side of the whole thing.
Yeah, it gets a little tough when you in it's below zero, you know, in Kansas City, freezing your tail off down at not everybody can be warm and cozy up there in the booth.
See, I was lucky enough. First away game this year, I get on a plane, and I didn't fly first class. I flew 4-sec class. So I got to hang out with him. And then I heard about his real life. And he told me, he's like, man, I'm just on a plane going to see a football game. This is good. He said, you should hear my real life during the week. Tell me about your kids and about your you're like just –
I'm the CEO.
You're not a guy missing football. You have this really full crazy life in Dallas, Texas. Literally.
Yes, it's crazy, man. I'm constantly on the road. I'm traveling from week to week, growing the brand, pitching investors, opening up more distribution channels for the company. So really starting something from scratch. Now we're in, Target nationwide, but that comes with work and more work, with being.
And then you need this to wipe off after your work.
You have
right?
to. You have to
clean up when
if you
you're
want to
done.
be clean and fresh and presentable.
I'm taking this home.
There we go. Take it out there.
For most people in America, to take something sanitary to make the people of Europe smell better, take that to Paris. All right, you need that on a Paris subway. You change Europe forever.
We got you. We're going to get on those long-distance flights for you, too, those international flights coming soon.
What do you make of the Ravens in the offseason and where they are right now? Just a little state of the Ravens. We're going to hear from DaCosta. I wasn't sure Harbaugh was really staying. You know a lot more about agents and contracts and years on deals, where John was and getting thrown out in November and December, and then Lamar saves the season, and now all of a sudden it's, John would have gotten 5 years and $60 million from the Packers or the Dolphins, or he would have been the number one guy in the market.
For sure.
And now we've retained him, and, there's something about stability, and we all want variety, and we all want change, right? So at this point, it's John's show, and look, the last 8 weeks, it's very he's a hell of a football coach, and you played for him, and I know that.
No, he's a great coach. He's the right man for the job. If you wanted to replace him, who are you going to replace him with?
That's what we've been asking.
Who would you want to come in?
I saw the 8 names of the new guys, and I'm like, I like the bus I'm on. I'll take that.
So he's the right fit for the organization. He has the right makeup and DNA of the Ravens, and they got a young team with a young quarterback that has a lot of upside. So and a running back now that has a lot of upside. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do, how they build around Lamar. The defense is pretty stout. I love what Coach Martindale was able to do with that defense. So it's fun to see.
Well, CJ's the biggest question, right? I mean, in the middle of all of this, we're talking about Weddle and Suggs and Yonda, the older guys, because we talk about that, when everybody gets to 13, 14, 15 years in the league. But CJ's going to be a major decision for him and for the organization to get married here again for Wink and for what the defense to have a centerpiece.
I mean, you got to find a way to get that done. He's the centerpiece of the whole defense. Weddle is great. He's a leader. But CJ, I mean, I think we saw him. I mean, what game did he go out injured? Was that Cincinnati?
Cincinnati, yep.
Cincinnati. I mean, it's a difference. It's a difference when he's not out there. So they got to find a way to get that thing done. So come on, Eric.
Justin Forsett joining us here. Go ahead, Luke.
Yeah, you mentioned Lamar. I wanted to get your perspective as a former NFL running back. And you have lots of love for Joe. You had your career season when Joe had one of his best regular seasons.
Sure,
But what Lamar brings to the running game and the threat that he provides, what is that like for the running back, knowing that it's 11 on 11 rather than 11 on 10 as it is with 98% of offenses, year to year.
You love that. I mean, you know that you're going to get opportunities to carry the rock, just the way the system is built. I mean, Lamar has the option to hand the ball off or take off it. He's not going to take off with it every time. So if we're going to stay on the ground and build around the ground game, I mean, the running back's going to touch the ball. And at least last year, you knew that you were going to get some checkdowns as well. So there's some opportunities there. So you're excited. You're excited about what the direction that the team is headed. Of course, you're going to have to open it up a little bit more because you don't want to be just, one-trick pony. But I love the one trick that we have.
Love the Justin Forsett stop by. I know you got to go around and giving away the body wipe.
Yep.
One of your body wipes. We now got.
Can we swap? I'll give you one of these, and I'll take it.
We've now opened up your European branch here. We're taking you to Europe.
You're my distributor out there.
That's right. That's right.
There you go.
Phil Knight.
Making moves.
I'm watching Shoe Dog right now. I'm reading Shoe Dog. So Phil Knight story. So you're going to be my distributor in Europe.
All right, man.
Another one of the guys we swapped for the bone marrow red shirt. Another one of the guys that was awesome to my wife and I when we were struggling. My wife will be here tomorrow. She's doing
there
better.
We go.
She's going to see Super Bowl 53 this week.
There we go.
See if we can take Tom Brady down. This SOB. How many years?
Man, it's crazy. He's not going down though. I think he's going to get 6 this weekend.
Honestly, I can't find any way they're going to lose. I mean, if you gave me $1 and said I have to, I mean, I will grudgingly admit that I don't. This is the one year where I'm not going to sit here all week and try to beat Tom Brady. Tom Brady's going to win the Super Bowl.
It's going to be. I think it's going to be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams, made it a very competitive game. But the equalizers with Belichick and Brady and coming back on the Super Bowl after they just lost one, I don't see him losing 2 in a row.
What are they doing to cheat this year? What are we going to find out about later?
Man, I don't know. Maybe it's something to do with the shoes. I don't know. Maybe they got some.
See, I looked up there. It says Super Bowl LIII. I thought that's perfect. Tom Brady's right next to it. You know, perfect.
That's tough, man. We got any Boston listeners on that? No.
Not anymore. Justin Forsett, Jordan, good seeing you, man. I'm going to get back my BBC friend here, Steve Crossman, as well.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Go find him out. A shower pill available at a Target around the corner from you. Justin stopping by here. All right, well, I'm going to get back into the BBC thing here. If you just joined us, it's all brought to you by our friends at Strategic Factory. Hats like this, shirts like this, cups like this, all out in Owings Mills. You can find them at strategicfactory.com. Luke is here. Steve Crossman here from BBC. We were just getting to your story, and I lost.
Do you want another flyer?
Give me a flyer. You gave Forsett the flyer.
Yeah, that's because he's probably got like 1 billion followers on social media.
He gave you a towel that you smell good after
I hide
an
them in my
all-night
coat,
flight. You're going to land over at Heathrow, and you're
I'm gonna be
not going to
delicious.
smell like cabbage. You smell like cabbage.
99.9% of germs.
It's
man.
pretty good,
Are
right?
you calling him a carny?
No.
My goodness.
No, sorry.
He dropped the Austin Powers reference. I'm like, that's not very nice.
Well, I mean, you guys doing the do not go in there, thing or whatever. So let's get to your thing,
right.
and we'll get to BBC, and we'll figure out what Brexit's all about, and I'm trying to figure out why our country cares about the King and the Queen. By the way, the Churchill Bunker Museum, best place I've ever been.
Yeah.
It's great.
Love the Indian food there. Really screwed up not going to Royal Albert Hall. I just effed that all up. But next time.
We'll have you back, don't worry. If you're nice to me, I may not cancel your visa. So.
All right, so I'm going to read from the Hurricane tapes here. This is Steve Crossman. You sort of got mixed up in the crosshairs of.
I enjoyed it.
All right,
I was
that's
like, this
fine.
guy must play American football.
Do you consider yourself a Jaguar fan or no?
If I move to London, I'll take him, yeah.
Do you have an American team or no?
I like the Seahawks. Because
They
I
wear
like
lime
the Seattle
green.
Sounders as well. Lime green as well, like my jacket. But I'm a big Sounders fan.
All right.
So I thought I'd inherit them as well, you see.
Fake football fan. He likes the other kind of football, the real football.
I'll take them both.
This is the fake
Can't I have them
football,
both?
right?
I'll have
To
them
you,
all.
this is the fake. That's fine. It's good. True crime meets sport. The Hurricane tapes. No, I'm not going to do that. Is a new BBC World Service podcast about former middleweight boxer Reuben Hurricane Carter and his 2 triple murder convictions. I'm familiar vaguely with the story. Bring me up to speed on this, and I think anytime people are doing pods, it's a labor of you're doing a book,
right?
Literally, and I've written 4 books, and I've read them, and it's a challenging thing to read your own work. I mean, literally, you talk about needing water, but putting something together as a pod, there feels to be an art form to this. I started listening to the SI Steve McNair thing, and it's a fascinating, newly developing art form. I mean, I've done radio for 30 years. Is that what I do? Some people might call it a pod these days or whatever. But this is a different sort of storytelling that you're taking on. Yeah.
So, I mean, for anyone who doesn't know the Reuben Hurricane Carter story, and this is the weird thing, like in England, I have to explain this to everybody. But the podcast done really well in England. We got to #1 in the charts, which was cool, until David Tennant sort of sauntered in and kicked us off.
But you want to figure out whether you're telling a story everyone knows or a story no one knows anything about. You know what I mean?
That's right. Well, that's kind of what I sort of realised when I started looking into this. So there's the Denzel Washington movie, Hurricane, that a lot of people know, won a Golden Globe, nominated for an Oscar.
That's
and
a good
the Bob
start.
Dylan song.
That's a good start.
And
right?
the Bob Dylan song.
Okay, fair
so
enough.
it's famous. It's a famous story. But what I actually kind of realised early on in this is that actually the true story has never been told. So I got hold of these 40 hours of tape cassettes that Reuben Carter made before he passed away. And these tapes shed a whole lot of new light on the case. There's so much information that's never been in the public domain. These murders were 1967.
I was going to say it's 50 years ago, right?
50 years ago. So this is why I started. It was 2017. I was like, 50th anniversary of the wrongful conviction of Reuben Carter. This could be a cool story to do. But then when I started looking into it and when I found these tapes, I was like, wow, like nobody actually knows the real story. So
there's nothing more exciting for a writer, a journalist, a creator than finding a story that you get titillated by, that you start peeling back the onion of whatever the story is. And when you want to tell a story, if that's what you do, and it's all I've ever done, literally, as a writer when I was 15 years old, is want to tell a story, that this is a wonderful format, a different kind of format that maybe harkens back to the 20s or 30s where radio was more of episodal.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and it's like it's that sort of transportational thing, I think, as well. Like, you know,
next time, you know what I mean?
But I mean, like, when you're in a location, you know, just like the tiniest bit of sound can take you there. So it's not like we just go, here's Fred Hogan, who helps Reuben Carter get out of prison. You know, you'll hear us pull up to the house, you hear the New Jersey rain, you hear him welcoming us and sort of ploughing us with sandwiches.
It's an
and various
oral
things.
Experience, right?
It's an oral experience. Like, one of my favorite podcasts at the minute is the Boston Globe Spotlight one on Aaron Hernandez. It's called Gladiator.
I haven't seen.
It's brilliant, but it is a lot of interviews, just like bang, 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 bang. There's no kind of weave. Do you know what I mean?
Man,
it doesn't sort of transport
is an intense
you somewhere.
artistic thing that you're.
Yeah, for sure. That's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You know, you got to try and take people there. Otherwise, it's just lots of voices. And when one of them's my voice, and I'm a British guy trying to do an American story,
I'm already worn out, dog. You know.
Well, just by my voice.
Steve Crossman here from the BBC. He has done a podcast and a series you can find. Best place to find it from a location at the BBC website? Yeah.
Yeah, or basically, like I've sort of got the phrase, your regular podcast provider.
Perfect. Yes.
Everybody knows where you get a podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, if it's Android or it's Apple or wherever, you can find it.
There you go. Steve Crossman, BBC. Let's get to Brexit. And,
Sure.
and anybody who wants this story can hear the whole. How many hours?
So that we found 40 hours of tape, but we've turned it into 13 episodes, which are like a half hour each.
So 6.5, 8 hour commitment.
It's released every Monday, or you could just wait till the end of the series in April and then just like.
Yeah, so I'm trying to figure it out. Me personally, I avoided London for the longest time because it was just so freaking expensive.
Yeah.
I would be like, I'm not spending $300 a night to be there. I'm not spending $2,000 to get there, and I'm just not going to London. And when they figure out how to make it a little bit more affordable for
that's happening now.
A bloke from Dundalk. Well,
you're good now because of the fact that our currency, but our currency is like worth nothing now.
It's worthless.
When I was picking up like my money at the airport, I was like, oh, how many dollars versus how many pounds? They were like, listen, it's pretty much the same
now. They're bending you over now.
Right.
So how much for a cheeseburger? What?
Yeah.
How many pounds? So going over there in the last 2 years, I've gone twice. Long story short, my wife's had leukemia twice. Man saved her life. He's German. We can meet him in London. It's cheap. We can get in. We get out. Right. So London's a great meeting up place, and I love London. And it's now I love London more because a cheeseburger's not $28. I mean, literally,
sure, yeah.
I don't ever feel good about that. I mean, I don't need to go to Thailand where things are 5 cents, or God forbid, go back to my homeland of Venezuela where like. They would just eat me probably because they have no food. So, right, but when a place is that expensive, I steered clear of it, and I didn't realize how much I was going to like it until I went back because I hadn't gone since like '99, like I told you before Justin got here. And when I was there, everything was a drag because beers were like $10 then.
Yeah,
and it just sucked.
Yeah, but that's why you
Doesn't
kind
make
of
you
at
wanna
some point
stay
you need to
long.
come north. You know, you need to come north. There's more to the UK than just London. I don't particularly like London. I mean, if it wasn't for work, you would have been to London more times than me in the last couple of years. But I have to work there quite a bit, so I spend my days going up and down.
I need to do like the Liverpool Beatles thing.
100%.
Right, I need to come up to
Beatles
Manchester.
thing.
I need to get down with a little, some Oasis, just figure things out a little bit.
Well,
and
I can tell you're a big music fan.
And then somewhere maybe make my way up to Scotland and for.
Well, if you stop just before you get to Scotland, you can stay with me. Because I'm from like the proper north of England.
Proper.
So it's great with the weather here. It's fantastic. I mean, it makes me feel
you
at home.
You don't even have even a little bit of the Scottish.
No.
Nothing. But an
I'm
hour away,
England,
you get that.
I'd say if I drove 2 hours north, I'd be in Scotland. But it would take me like 6 hours to get to London. So I'm much closer to there.
Yeah, I almost went to Glasgow once and. Bourdain talked me out of it. Now look what happened there. So, Steve Crossman here from the BBC, the Hurricane Tapes. This is the podcast. Really good to meet you. Talk a little politics, a little bit of football. Justin Forsett was so kind to interrupt us and mix in some football, some real football, not whatever it is you guys do over there. But love your country.
Thanks,
love your
man.
people, but I am the American that every time something comes on about Meghan, whatever her name is,
Markle.
and the Queen of whatever that
England.
is, and the Prince of wherever the hell it's from,
Wales,
that I just don't give a blooming
Dales. Well, listen, thank you.
They're all wankers.
Thank you for not kicking me off when the famous guy came. That was very kind of you.
It's not my style. It's not the way I roll, man. Steve Crossman here from the BBC. Luke is here. I am Nestor. We are out in the Buy a Toyota.com audio vault 24 hours a day from anywhere in the world on your mobile device. All of our WNST coverage brought to you by LifeBridge Health Sports Medicine Institute, taking care of my elbow, taking care of your knee, all of your sports medicine needs. And we'll get back to chatting with the good doctors next week as we are live here in Atlanta from the Georgia World Congress Center. I'm Nestor. He's Luke. We are WNST.net, AM 1570, and WNST, Towson, Baltimore. And we never stop talking Baltimore sports.